We're multiplying polynomials right now. And this is a monomial, it has one part. This here is a trinomial, so it has three different parts. Okay, now if I want to multiply this, all we're basically doing is using the distributive property. I'm going to distribute this 3x to the 2x squared. 3x times 2x squared gives me 6x cubed. Okay? And then my 3x times the 8x gives me 24x. It's a positive 24x squared. And then 3x times negative 7 gives me negative 21x. Okay, so just by distributing that, here's my new one. 6x cubed plus 24x squared minus 21. And all I did was basically distribute. This one's fairly easy because it's only 1, so that's all we're going to have to distribute is the 1. Let's look at one that's a little bit more difficult, though. If we took one that had, instead of having a monomial in front, we'll have a binomial. So we're going to go x plus 2 times x squared plus 7x minus 10. Okay, now this is the same principle. We're going to be distributing this all the way through. So the first thing I'm going to do is I can distribute just this x. X times x squared gives me x cubed. X times 7x gives me plus 7x squared. Okay? Now x times negative 10 gives me negative 10x. Now I've done distributing this x. I've done the x to each one of those. Okay, now the next thing I can do is this 2. 2 times x squared gives me plus 2x squared. 2 times 7x gives me plus 14x. And then 2 times negative 10 gives me negative 20. So now I've distributed the x and the 2 both to everything inside of there. Now what I can do is look for my like terms. Remember, in order to combine them, they have to have the same variable and the same exponent. Most of these have the same variable of x, except for the 20, so we can't combine that with anything. But then they have to have the same exponent. These two here have the same exponent, so I draw a line signifying those two can go together. Squiggly line, you can do whatever line you want to. The 10x and the 14x go together, so I just underline those two. And it looks like that's all I can combine. I can't combine x cubed with anyone because it doesn't. I don't see another cubed for my power anywhere. So then my answer would be x squared. I know I can combine these two. 7x squared, or x squared, sorry. This should be x cubed. 7x squared plus 2x squared would give me 9x squared. Negative 10x plus 14x gives me plus 4x. And then right at the end I have minus 20. Okay, so again, this is our answer, but really all we're using is the distributive property. We're just having to distribute the x first and then the 2 to everything inside of it. And then we're combining all of our like terms.